more, especially here, being half Filipino, trying to like share the culture more with people. Now that I have this audience, I think it would be a really cool thing to do that. So I kind of just wanted to like ask you guys questions, and feel free to answer whoever, if you feel like answering, whatever, and we'll just kind of talk about it so that I have like, you know, opinions and things that I can put in the video. So the first thing I think is, where should I start? Okay, so malls are like it's a big deal here, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here in Manila especially.
Yes.
3 of like the biggest malls in Asia. And why do you think that is? Like, why are malls so popular?
Because it's
Cool.
Colonial mentality.
yeah.
Like American things in the countries, like we love them. Like Filipinos really love them.
Yeah.
It's because of the occupation, obviously. Like people think that if it's foreign, it's definitely better.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, yeah. And the products there just, you know, are not from here. Not all of them. Like you see products from Forever 21,
Right.
H&M, Uniqlo. Those are not from the Philippines. There's one place store, Bayo, but everything else that's not made from the country. And you know, Filipinos have so much land, but they don't want to do anything with it.
Besides malls.
Manila is super dense, obviously, and where I come from, there's like barely anything. Obviously, like a lot of grass fields, a lot of fields. Calapan, Mindoro.
More specific.
Well, it's starting to be more accessible, but you know, it's a bit more difficult to go there because it's an archipelago as well.
Yeah.
The islands, the fact that it's difficult to travel, it's unsafe sometimes. People tend to flock more to Manila, to Cebu, to Davao, to the centers of the country.
Interesting. Yeah. So following up on like the American thing, right? I feel I see so many American chains, like you said, a lot of stores, a lot of chain restaurants, the fast food, KFC, KFC's
Shakey's?
everywhere.
Yeah.
Shakey's, really? Like
There's
I don't
more
even see
Shakey's
Shakey's
here than
in
in
the
the
States
States.
anymore.
Seriously, I didn't know that.
No, I told
Yeah.
someone there's Shakey's out here, and they said, "What's Shakey's?" They don't know what Shakey's is in the
No,
States.
it's bigger here. Like I think there's a lot of
You can
American
actually see
born
it everywhere.
Well, probably because of chicken. Chicken is a big thing in the Philippines.
chicken. Yeah.
We have like Mang
Kenny
Inasal.
Rogers,
Definitely,
Roasters.
yeah.
That's not in the
KFC.
States.
Yeah. So okay, so you're saying because of the occupation,
Partly, yeah.
partly. Why else do you think Filipinos are so drawn to American culture?
Colonial mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Come on. 300 years with the Spaniards, and then how many years with the Japanese?
Like at least five.
Three to five with the Japanese, and then the Americans.
What? There came our saviors, Americans.
And then Americans.
Yeah. So
And we think
colonial
it was
mentality.
somewhat great. So anything else came from the US, it's great because they think they are better than us. That's what we think.
Well, that's where colonial mentality comes in.
Absolutely.
And very, very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here in Manila, especially, do you think Filipinos are losing their culture?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
But they're trying their best to
I mean,
Keep it.
yeah, there's still people, there's still the youth, there's organizations that try their best to create cultures, like events like that. We have spoken word poetry, there's something like that.
Tagalog,
Yeah.
I think it also
There's
depends
really
where
a
you
lot.
go. Right?
And we also have
Yeah,
original
yeah,
Filipino music.
It's variable and that.
A lot of musicians try to.
Where the thing is, people from the provinces flocking towards.
like
know,
the style. Like
more.
I've seen people from my island because I come from a really small island, and the people just wear shorts all the time, like trying to emulate what Manila is. I mean, it's not. It's definitely not. I mean, there are currently 3 malls in our island being constructed at the same time. There's 3, and then right now near a school there's a KFC being built.
Yeah.
It's tiny, but you know people are gonna go there because why? It's KFC. It's cool.
If you think about it, we're actually Mele Island now.
Mele Island.
Small.
All right.
We're small, we have a town, a few malls. Definitely Mele Island. Good beaches too.
Ah.
Okay, so you're saying it depends on where you go. So in Manila, obviously, people are, I think probably more losing touch with the culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But again, it depends where you're from, how close you are to your own culture. Because the Philippines is very diverse, and Manila definitely is a hub for everyone to go to. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Another way you could think of it is like people are coming to Manila and bringing their culture with them. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I like that, especially here at BGC, a global city. Obviously, you know, there's a lot of internationals here, especially, which isn't always a bad thing. But I think, you know, I think it's a little
Too much.
maybe not too much, but it's scarier when Filipinos want to be more like the internationals than the internationals want to be here for the Filipino culture. So, what's a uniquely Filipino experience that people can have in Manila?
Sure.
Come on, man. Decide to.
If you want to eat, why not try manginasal?
Yeah.
That is very, very Filipino.
Yes.
Alcohol is cheap here.
Goldilocks? No, manginasal is good.
I guess to round it all up, it's food.
Yeah, definitely.
Food.
We
definitely.
Filipinos, we love to eat. We love to eat in a giant banana leaf.
Banana leaf.
Yeah.
Like inihaw na bangus. That's like
Budol
grilled-
fight.
Budol fight. Yes. That's what they call it. That's
Have you heard about a budol fight?
Where you put food in
Banana leaves or like
and then you eat with your hands.
With
I
a
mean,
lot of
all of
people.
you with a lot of people. Like there's just rice there, and then fish,
Just
meat, talong,
Vegetables.
tomatoes.
It's very vegetarian friendly if you
You know,
want.
adopted it since it's more of a team building thing.
Yeah. Okay. And is that something that's really common here? Like you can easily get that in Manila, or would you have
Manila.
Usually,
Yeah,
Go
like,
to a
it's in
specialty
certain-
Filipino restaurant. It's
Yeah.
easy to get.
to? Okay.
but if you go to the province, that's more of a common
Common thing.
Yeah.
It's more of like
It's more in fiesta.
fiesta thing.
Fiesta thing, yeah.
Like a barrio, a small town or small village
Yeah.
type of thing.
Okay.
If you think about it, if you could gather a lot of friends, like have a place.
It depends.
Yeah, you could just
Can be
create
normal
one.
celebration.
And then what would you say, is there anything that people can get here in Manila or in the Philippines? Maybe not food, because everyone has their unique food, right?
Yeah.
But what's like a quality of the Filipino people that you can't find anywhere else from a different type of people?
Spirit of bayanihan, wherein everyone works together for a common goal. Because before, bayanihan was derived from when you have your own house, then all of the people will literally carry your house and
A house
move it
made
to
of
another.
bamboo.
Yeah, like a nipaha, and they call that bayanihan, wherein all of the people in the community
will help you just
will
move
help
your
you
house. Yeah.
move your house. So I think it carries over to, it was passed on to generations and generations. So like for example in raids, all of the people gather together to help defeat the raid boss.
Yeah.
Then everyone has a chance of catching the raid boss.
Yeah. So in a way, yeah, the raid system is perfect for. I mean, just look at how many people showed up. I tweeted like 40 minutes in advance, and like all of you guys showed up to come hang out and help, which is cool.
Actually, I was worried because that's a private place.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The whole street is lined
cops
with
came earlier. I thought we were gonna get-
embassy house.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is that what that is?
And
And a
golf
golf
clubs.
Yeah.
Golf clubs.
And a polo club.
Private
I
golf
I was
clubs.
surprised. It seems like a very there's a lot
Secluded
of money,
place,
a lot
yeah.
of money in that area.
Yeah.
no one got arrested or something.
And there was that.
Almost some.
What's
Almost
wrong with that
dating.
guy?
Stay there.
Yeah.
Everyone's on their way.
Someone shouted trainer.
Yeah, in the car. Yeah.
Gotta hand it to that guy though.
Yeah,
Keep driving anyway.
He was something. Water.
Oh, water. Oh, oh my goodness.
Don't
I need to
worry,
get one of
man.
those.
You'll get used to the weather here.
Yeah, I know. I should have been carrying it with me.
You know what we wouldn't mind seeing in the Philippines, which is foreign? In and out.
Yeah.
In and out.
Right? I don't blame you.
That's why
Very
they're
true.
all over in the States.
Right?
Yeah, it's just on the West
I just want to taste just one In-N-Out burger.
Pop-up shops every now and then.
Yeah.
It would, sell out as soon as it starts.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Kailan ba yun? 2 years ago, 5 years ago yun.
2 years ago. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. We wouldn't mind seeing it.
It is so high. Oh, thank you.
To ask about one, obviously we were in like a really wealthy area just now.
Yeah.
And even here, there's just crazy buildings everywhere, and so many buildings being built still. Who's moving into these places?
Rich people.
Expats.
Businessmen. I'd love to move to Manila. I'm from the province. Obviously, I think it's boring, and where I'm from, it's so slow. And I think most of my friends really do want to stay here. Why? Because it's more fun. Everything's here. Literally, everything is here. If you can't find something, you just Google it. You'll find it somewhere in Manila. And mostly because we're sick of seeing grasslands, rice fields, and maybe after a few years we go back. But that's the thing. You just want a change of pace.
Maybe
you're going to
it
New York,
depends
right?
where you're from.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that.
Yeah, so I totally understand.
When you're from Manila, you want to go to provinces.
Yeah.
And then when you're from the province, you want to go to Manila.
Gotta need some fresh air in your
Was
life.
talking about her sick of rice patties and all that. I'm a Manila girl. I don't have a province to go home to, so I like traveling sometimes. But you have to admit, all the convenience you want is in Manila.
Yes.
But if you want to get away,
Then you have to go to somewhere else.
They're going to Antipolo, which is a mountain.
Yeah, that's a good
mountainous
place. It's a
area.
great place.
That's a great place.
Like the highway you're going to go through, it's going to be in the mountains.
Yeah, and the view is amazing. You have to see it at night. So good.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. It's gonna take us that long.
Doon pa rin nila doon.
Oh man.
you better pack food.
But
Yeah. Bring snacks and stuff.
foreigners cannot buy land.
Entertainment.
What's that?
They cannot buy land. So the majority in BGC are not foreign buyers. Because under the law, it protects Filipinos. So you need to have a certain percentage. So the misconception is that the foreign are the one buying here, but you have to be Filipino just to buy some of the condominium or even the land. No, they cannot just construct anything here.
Maybe like renting it out.
But the buyers are still Filipinos. There's a surge of what they call wealthy Filipinos right now.
For real?
Progress is happening. We call this the next batch of high net worth individuals. They are coming from the second generation, the third generation.
True.
And part of the portfolio that they have is normally real estate as compared to the older generation. So, and prices here have really gone up. Like you have to, for a 60 square meter condominium, you have to shell out around 8 million peso, 8 million peso. So that's roughly around $70,000. I don't know. So it's quite expensive. The prices here have really gone up. It's because also of Filipinos. You just don't know who are that they've been
We are
buying.
the perennial consumers.
But you're right, these are mostly for investments because most Filipinos still prefer in the villages, in the subdivisions because they prefer what we call a land.
An actual house.
A backyard.
Yeah.
That's what.
We really gained a lot from the upsurge in the real estate here. Especially if you bought 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like the pre-selling, like Serendra, if you bought it at around 3 million or 4 million at that time, if you're selling it right now, it will cost you around 28 million pesos.
Wow.
That's how prices usually got up.
Yeah, and that's in like.
Serendra is the one, this is the first development here, that portion.
First residential.
It's near specific gravity. One of our popular gym here.
The gym.
Which just gave X-ray passes
Last
2
week.
times, right? 2 times already? It's been 2 times.
Was it the presence sculpture or the specific gravity?
But recently.
Okay. So then on the flip side, there's also obviously a lot of poverty in the Philippines, in Manila. Do you think there's a lot of opportunity for people to get out of poverty in the Philippines?
That's a tough one. 'Cause
Yeah,
if
that's
you
very
want to
tough
be
one.
real, not really. A lot of yes, from again my perspective on being from the South, is that people there tend to stop studies at grade 6. I have a lot of friends who don't go to school anymore, and mostly because they can't afford it really. If you were poor from the start, you can't claw your way up unless you're really lucky or really talented. And they mostly go as maids in other countries, nurses, manpower. They're basically manpower for Manila. So the thing is, with people from the province, they want to go to Manila to look for an opportunity. But since they're underqualified, if you say, they really can't leave anymore. And recently there is a strike right now for the transport thing. And that's mostly composed of jeepney drivers who are people who cannot afford a lot of things in here. And why they're fighting for it is because the government's going to just phase out what they have right now, and you can't really replace that with other things. But I digress. It's basically people who want opportunities that can't have it because they don't have the skills, they don't have the education. I was born in the same place as my friends, but they don't wanna because they can't afford it. That's just it. They cannot afford an education. Colleges are really expensive, right, guys? Unless it's a state college or a state university, which you have to be really smart to get in. You're just gonna have to be a tricycle driver, a jeepney driver, a maid. A lot of
to
that.
answer your question, about economics, no? I mean, that's my line of work.
Oh, that's why.
Perspective, I'm very positive about the Philippines. In fact, HSBC released this report that Philippines will be one of the top 50 countries. The reason why is that, yeah, we are a very young country in terms of demographics. That will really help propel the economy because you have a workforce who are very young vis-a-vis Europeans or Japanese who are the average age of people there already retiring. Here you have abundant people like them, the millennials who are still playing Pogo players, and that will spur the growth in the next 10 to 20 years. I think we just have to be patient about it because economic growth will come first to the high net worth, then the middle class, then eventually it will go to the lower class people. No? But we just have to be patient and trust that the government will continue to develop. But the growth is happening, primarily because of the demographics of the country.
I got another perspective. I feel like all the development is too centralized in Manila. And one reason could be that businesses aren't really open to developing in other areas. For example, in Mindanao, which is a non-conflict region. But you know, in my own perspective, we could actually achieve peace through development. All these rebel groups and people who are fighting against the current administration, they just want a chance. They want an opportunity to do something. And because there's no jobs or because there's exploitation of workers there, man. They have no choice. They have no hope except to rebel. So, if businesses could step it up and have the courage to actually go there to these places, then we could see real change. Not just here in Manila.
What do you think?
I like this. No, this is, I feel like there's something else I want to ask. I want to go with that.
Who's your favorite character among the Pokémon?
My favorite?
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
Overall, Celebi.
Celebi.
Which hopefully we'll get soon sometime. I hope.
What if you get an EX raid and you're in the islands? What would you do?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I would go.
Or if you got an EX raid and you're in Singapore. Did you go back?
Would I come back?
you haven't done an EX raid.
It's not that far.
It's gonna make it for a good title, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I probably would. It would depend. If I could make it happen, I'd
you have 1 week to go back.
Yeah. Was there something else I wanted to ask? I forget.
Oh, hold on. Let me just hop into your brain for a second.
Yeah.
You were definitely telling me about this earlier.
It's there. Thank you guys.
Yay! Thank you.
Oh, you know what? Did I mention this? I think when we were talking about like uniquely Filipino maybe experiences or like qualities, one thing that really comes to mind is hospitality.
Yes. Yes.
Filipino people are so welcoming. Like, so many of you guys said welcome to the Philippines. Like it's so simple, but no one ever really says that when I travel elsewhere. Yeah, people are really welcoming. Like even back home, my Lola,
Our family.
Lola Do, you go to their house and everyone is welcome there. If you come to my mom's house, she's gonna try to feed you. Like that's not her own food, not her own food,
but just food in general.
But whatever's there.
There are people that we've grown up with that we didn't realize until way later, like, oh, they're not actually related to us.
Yeah.
Oh, we're like I'm asking my mom, like, how are they related? She's like, they're not. But they've been here like our whole lives because everyone is welcome. Your friends, your family friends, your friends' family, everybody is welcome all the time.
Yeah.
Messed up that frame.
So that I mean I love that. I think that's one thing that Filipino culture
Yeah,
has.
I was
Maybe
gonna
a lot
say
of
that.
other
I'm actually
cultures don't.
surprised no one said that.
Yeah.